is the same way too.
Dude, personally, I think that the scariest thing is not even the Middle East. I don't think the scariest thing in this world is that ideology. I think that's very scary. But to me, what's scarier is what's happening in Mexico, and the fact that Mexico is connected to us. And Mexico is in the middle of gigantic gang wars between the police and these gang cartels that have fucking billions of dollars. These guys have insane amounts of money because that's the only way you can make money. So it's basically like, I mean, that's not the only way you can make money in Mexico. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, you know, they're totally illegal. To sell cocaine, it has to be sold illegal. You can't sell it legally. You can't regulate it and tax it. You can't do anything with it. You have to sell it illegally. So people are going to buy cocaine. They're going to buy cocaine from Mexico, and someone's going to get that money. Who the fuck's going to get that money? Well, these drug lords have all that money, and now they're more powerful than the police. And they've got U.S. troops that are going in there now and fucking helping out. I mean, it's bananas down there, dude. They're fucking warring in the streets with tanks.
What's bananas is people are still going there for vacations.
Just
had to report
crazy.
how, like, the last spring break, that was still one of the hot spots for people to go for spring break.
If they were Muslims, we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, the fact that they're Christians and they're not into blowing themselves up for Jesus, they're into I mean, what's going on is it's a lot of money and a lot of influence and a lot of people that get illegal money, and they're dominating the actual political system over there. And as many as they try to raid, there's so many more of them. It's such a fucking hard fight because they let them like dig in and get infested. There's just so many fucking gigantic cartels with just tons and tons of money and guns. It's so frightening. But if they were the enemy, if that was like Muslim, I mean, if Pakistan was right next door to us, and this shit was going down, it would be even scarier. Mm-hmm. It really would. Yeah. Because for some reason, the Mexicans aren't blaming the Americans. It's really interesting. It's like Mexican people are pretty proud people, and they're not blaming a lot of what's going on.
They have a lot of family here. That's why they're not going to fuck with half of their families.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's really clear what happened. Mexico wanted to make drugs legal. They wanted to decriminalize them and make them legal, and make it so that people can sell them and tax them and all that. And the United States said, no fucking way. Like, no way. And if you don't have laws and you're involved in a business like selling drugs, you're going to have criminals. Because even when you have laws, we have things like pharmaceutical companies. I mean, pharmaceutical companies are basically legal drug dealers. And they're dealing shit that kills motherfuckers every day. There's always people dropping off from Vicodin and Percocet. I remember when I got my nose fixed, when I got my deviated septum operated on, the doctor gave me a Vicodin and Percocet. He gave me a prescription for both. And I looked at him and I'm like, man, this stuff is bad for you. Like, how bad is this going to fucking hurt? It's going to hurt way more than it hurts right now? I'd rather just deal with like it being annoying than get hooked on some crazy fucking pharmaceutical pills that like addict you, like 30% of the time? How many people get addicted to Vicodins?
Oh, like tons.
Fuckloads.
Dude, they give those things out like candy.
Well, right after I decided not to accept the prescription, a study came out showing that the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, they're going to recommend like cutting way back on prescriptions, and they like recommend that doctors do not prescribe them because of liver damage and because of addiction.
Oh, I have probably 4 half-full bottles of Vicodin laying around just from going to the dentist.
Do they talk to you sometimes?
Huh?
Do they talk to you?
The Vicodin bottles?
Yeah.
Only when I sleep.
Like in the middle of the night,
I wake up and they're combing my hair.
You go, dude, you're really stressed right now. You know, it would feel better.
Actually, I hate Vicodin.
Just chew me up, man.
I hate Vicodin. I hate feeling.
Just chew me up.
I just feel gross when I do Vicodin.
I've only done Vicodin once when I had my first knee operation. I've had 3 knee operations, 2 ACL reconstructions, 1 meniscus surgery. And the first time I had the ACL done, it was pretty painful because they did what's called a patella tendon graft. I have this scar that goes from here to here. And what they do is they take a chunk of bone out of your knee and a chunk of bone out of your shin, and they cut this big tendon, they cut a slice of it off with the bone. And then they open you up like a fish, and they drill it in place. So they take this tendon and they make it smaller to make you a fake tendon for the ACL. And it's apparently supposedly like physically stronger than the original ACL. The point is you got holes in your bones and screws in your bones, and it hurts like a bitch. When you get up, especially when you're sitting down and then you get up, it's way more pain. I have the other one done with a cadaver, so I got a dead dude's shit in this knee. But the one with the ACL where they do the surgery where they take it off the bone is way, way, way more painful. I'd get up from the couch, I'd be like watching TV, and it was just like hot lava, just hot lead, just going right into my bones. It was so fucking painful. And I took a Vicodin. That was the only time I ever took one. And I felt so stupid, just so drugged, and my jaw was slack, and I was watching TV, and I thought to myself while I was under it, I was like, I will never take this dumb shit again. Yeah. This stuff's terrible.
Yeah. It's weird how some people are the exact opposite. They'll fucking give you $20 for a Vicodin. You know?
Well, what basically we're trying to say is there's no fucking difference between Vicodins and heroin and OxyContins and heroin are really the same thing. There's no fucking difference between pharmaceutical companies and drug dealers. The only difference is the drug dealers don't have to work within the law. The pharmaceutical companies, they have to bribe politicians, they have to wax doctors. You know what they do with doctors? They take everybody out to dinner. Mrs. Rogan, her mom is a nurse, and she works with these pharmaceutical companies. These nurses, they don't make much money, and they don't get to go out to fancy dinners. Well, the pharmaceutical companies come along and say, hey, Viagra's going to take us out on a nice dinner. And they all get to go to a nice restaurant and have a nice meal, and it's all on these pharmaceutical companies. They pay for the drinks, they pay for everything, and so these people are more likely to talk nice about their pharmaceuticals, so they prescribe them more.
You know what's fucked up about that is, I've thought about that also. When I go to the doctor, I was at the doctor recently.
Viagra was a poor example. Right. That's a good one.
Right. I went to the doctor's the other day for acid reflux, because sometimes after I eat like too much caffeine, onions, or I drink too much, I kind of feel like I have acid coming up from my throat. It makes my throat feel tight and all this other stuff.
You've had this for a long time.
Yeah, I've had it for a while. So finally went to the doctor the other day, digestive doctor, and I told him everything I had. And then he's like, oh, let me give you some samples. He gave me a garbage bag almost full of the sample. It was called the bluepill.com. I don't remember what the name of it, but it was the bluepill.com or something like that. And I'm thinking, you know what? I wonder if this is even the best thing I could be taking right now, or if this guy just got paid to give me a bottle, and because he gave me like 20 bottles of samples and coupons and books, and it's like, and I take it and I'm like, yeah, I guess that kind of is better, but I don't know if I'm just tricking myself, or if I have to go back there and make a second appointment, you know, just to be like, look, that whatever you gave me, that's bullshit. You know?
Well, we know for sure that doctors are influenced by pharmaceutical companies. Right. You know, they give them money. They get money for, they were getting, I don't know if this is still true or still legal, or if there's different states that have different laws. I don't know how it all works. But from what I understand, doctors have been busted where they're getting a percentage of the amount of sales that they have. Like say if they sell, you know, X amount of Valiums, they get a kickback from the pharmaceutical company. Mm-hmm. That should absolutely be illegal. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. And that's bananas.
That's hopefully technology helps that, though. So when they try to prescribe something, like a million topics come text to your phone, and you go, actually, no, I want to take this one. This one's better. You know?
Right.
You know?
Like an iPhone app that tells you your doctor's trying to get you hooked on
just
something.
like you turn it on, and when the doctor
comes
in.
No, and we're not trying to shit on doctors or anything, man.
No.
I mean, so the whole system is fucked up. And when you're a doctor and you're struggling to get along and you have to pay an insane amount of malpractice insurance, I mean, malpractice insurance for doctors is goddamn brutal. And then you have all these assholes that want to sue you for fucking nothing, for no reason, for shit getting wrong, for you getting an infection, for things that are totally unavoidable. And I'm not saying the doctor's perfect, but you know, it's hard for doctors. Their medical bills are fucking, or medical school bills are gigantic. They're fucking huge. And if all of a sudden some pharmaceutical company comes along and says, hey, you know, you're still helping all these people. You're still doing a great thing. We just would love it if you would tell them, you know, take Vioxx if you have arthritis.
Right.
So these doctors say, yeah, I could do that, and we'll be in on a deal with you guys. You could buy, we give you a share in the company. We'll give you a certain percentage for every, you know, Vioxx bottle you sell. We'll give you X percent. And so they don't think they're doing anything wrong. Vioxx is something that was created to help people. This person has a pain. I'll give them this. It'll help their pain, and I'll profit. And they don't even think it's a bad thing. And then next thing you know, they're prescribing it way more than they did before, especially like nutty pills. You talk to, like, there's been many studies done on people who take antidepressants and how people have gone to psychiatrists just for experimentation purposes, just to write stories on it. Right. And just said, hey, you know, I'm just having trouble sleeping. I just feel shitty all day. I don't know what to do. Here, take this.
Right.
Bam. It's like that simple. Have Zoloft.
Yeah.
You'll feel better.
You're right.
Like, they're just dishing it out. Try this for a little bit and tell us how you feel. Like, whoa. We're fucking with human neurochemistry, and we're allowing these heartless pharmaceutical companies to do it. You can't do that, man. There's got to be more oversight. I know there's a lot of money involved in pharmaceuticals, and I know that there's a lot of pharmaceuticals that do a lot of good for a lot of people. Not saying there's anything bad about it, but there's got to be way more oversight because they have so much shit out there that you can get addicted to. There's so much that will fuck your life up, and it's readily available. Oxycontins, fucking Percocets, Valiums, Vicodins, those fucking things will crush you. And somehow or another, those guys are doing something that's way more acceptable than someone who sells pot or coke.
Or fucks a rubber
or
vagina.
Fucks a rubber vagina.
Those people are looked at as heroes, doctors and stuff, but yet, if you talk about this...
You're a bad person.
A bad person.
Well, I mean, look, doctors are heroes, man. The doctors that have fixed me up, I'm forever in their debt. The guy who fixed my nose, the guys who fixed my knees. If it wasn't for them, my nose would suck and I wouldn't be able to walk that good. I mean, doctors are fucking awesome. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we live in this ridiculous state of hypocrisy because there's certain drugs that we make illegal. You literally aren't supposed to have them. It's not that you can get them prescribed if you need them or they can monitor you. No, you're not allowed to. Big Daddy, who knows more than you, tells you that if you're with this drug, we're going to lock you in a cage. Like, what the fuck? Why is that? Is that set up so that the people who really appreciate and recognize the merits in the psychedelic drugs rise up so that they realize they have to literally overthrow the culture, the way of thinking? They have to, not overthrow rather, but overturn the way the culture accepts drugs? Because that's the only thing that seems to make sense. All the beneficial ones are illegal. You don't ever hear about someone talking to you about they did Valium and they just really had this life-changing experience and learned to love everyone. No, you don't have that fucking on Valium. I felt connected to the universe and I realized that I'm just a part of a never-ending process and my biology is trying to hold on to everything. And that's where the insecurity comes from. No, you don't get that from fucking Valium, okay? You get that from mushrooms. And mushrooms grow outside, and if they catch you with them, they put you in a cage. If they come by your fucking house and you have mushrooms growing under your tree in your backyard, they are legally allowed to lock you in a box. They can take you and arrest you. Yeah. That's fucking bananas. Bananas. And that our enforcing our ridiculous thinking on the Mexican people is why those drug cartels got into power. Is that a conspiracy theory? Perhaps. Is that a little bit of tinfoil hat? Perhaps. Yeah, maybe. But, some of that tinfoil hat shit is on the money. And I think it is with this. We live right next to a country that's involved in a way more deadly war than the one going on in Afghanistan or going on in Iraq. Yep. Both of them combined can't even touch the body counts that are happening in Mexico right next door. They're killing motherfuckers. They're going crazy over there, dude. And you can get there by walking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're all invested in Afghanistan and securing Afghanistan. Meanwhile, we live right next to a fucking third world country. We are connected to them with an invisible line, and they're involved in the bloodiest pharmaceutical war that's ever been fought in the history of this earth, the illegal pharmaceutical war. They're fighting it with goddamn tanks. They're fighting a pharmaceutical war with tanks. And that's what the war is. The war is who gets to sell your shit. Is it going to be people that have no law whatsoever, or is it going to be people that have laws? Yeah. And if you say it's going to be people that have laws and that the other stuff you're not going to allow, well, then someone's going to sell that other stuff because there's a goddamn demand for it.